In the beginning, we were born. Then we grew. Everything we knew was new.
Are you gonna spread love or hate? Are you gonna spread love or hate? Are you gonna spread love or hate? See the world through different eyes. Realize it's all fairy tales and blue skies. Everyone is wearing a mask in disguise, covering up their issues with betrayals and lies. As we wish we could see through our childhood eyes. I ask you, are you gonna spread love or hate? Are you gonna spread that love? Are you gonna spread love or hate? Are you gonna spread love or hate? Everything we knew and everything we're taught. I guess we all had bigger problems than the one we saw. The battles that were won and the fights that were fought. We never absorbed all the hate and distraught. Spread that love. So spread that love. And let each other in, or feed into temptation and ultimate sin, to learn what we didn't learn right from the start, because nowhere was place in my heart for hate. As we wish you could see through our childhood eyes once again, I ask you, spread love, spread love or hate. Love, spread love or hate. I'm gonna spread love or hate. Love.
By the breaking up of your natural singing voice. There's that giveaway because you hear those little chirps if you listen really carefully, and because you hear the pitch. Now, there's two ways to do voiceless screams that a lot of people embrace: an upper constricted sensation and a lower constricted sensation. The upper constricted usually creates a higher tonality, although the shape of your mouth can create lots of different tonalities out of that. And the lower constricted generally creates a richer, meatier sound, although that, based on what you do with your mouth, can create highs and lows as well. Hey, Chris Liepe here. After reviewing Gabriel's Earth Song cover, Stand Up was the most requested in the comments for me to do next. Now, the original of this song, it's an amazing song. High impact, incredible performance. And looking through Gabriel's YouTube channel, he tends to choose those. So I'm interested to see what his take, what his interpretation is on this. I have high expectations. Let's see how this goes. Ooh, nice.
I've been walking, leave my face run to the sun. Weight on my shoulder, a bullet in my gun.
Now already I'm hearing something. Earth Song, his most recent cover, recorded as of the filming of this video about a week ago. And this one was recorded a little over a year ago, it looks like, from his channel. His English diction, even in the very small amount I've listened to so far in this one, I'm sure it'll be great, but his diction's gotten a ton better. His interpretation of how to pronounce the English language in song.
Bullet in my gun. Oh, I got eyes in the back of my head, yeah, just in case I have to run. I do what I can, when I can for my people. While the clouds were back and the stars fill the night, that's when I gonna stand up.
Beautiful transition there as the key kind of moves in and out of its diatonicville. Listen to this.
While the clouds were back and the stars fill the night,
He really leaned into that note well.
while the clouds were back and the stars fill the night, that's when I gonna stand up. Take my people with me, together we are going to a brand new home, for I cross the river.
Okay, we got to go back. Listen to how he says home. And then I want to comment on his hands and his using the mic.
With me, together we are going to a brand new home.
That's not just home, home. This is something that great singers do, whether they think about it or not. He's making that far less of just an H and more of a sigh. He's kissing his head voice. Home. I'm exaggerating what he's doing to make a point. But if we listen for that in other people's voices and try it ourselves with our own voice, if we're interested in improving our singing voice at all, by the way, this is a singing channel. I help people pull from their favorite singers and try new things with their own voice. That's why I like to try things with my voice as I'm discovering new vocalists, new music, new approaches. If you'd like more help with your own voice and you'd like my help, the best place to start is by clicking the link below in the video description or the comments and joining my free voice course. So try this H approach. Home instead of home, home. It doesn't matter what note you have for your head voice. We just want to kiss it and then ground in our chest voice. It keeps us nimble. It helps us with our vocal budgeting and stamina. If we make this kind of approach part of our singing, and it sounds cool. It's more expressive.
To a brand new home, for I cross the river. Can you hear freedom calling, calling me to answer? Gonna keep on keeping on. I can feel it in my bones. Yeah.
Ooh, nice. Okay, a lot of times when singers hold a mic, if they can move around stage or whatever, their body movements become part of the vocal performance in almost an easier way. What Gabriel's doing, though, is he's standing still, holding the mic with one hand as if it's on a stand, at least so far, and using his face, to sort of work the mic, which is a great technique. He would be doing this, and did do it in the last one that I watched, very, very well in terms of backing off on the distance a little bit, leaning in. But because he's holding the mic, he's not quite as free to do things with his hands. And you can kind of see that, although his left hand is still carrying him through different notes. This is one thing a lot of beginner singers have trouble with. They're like, what should I do with my hands? Let them do. Let them sort of articulate what your voice is doing. It will help you hit pitches. It will help you with your timing. It will help you with your expressiveness. Don't let anybody tell you should be doing something specific with your hands. And don't get self-conscious about what your hands are doing. Don't give it another thought. I've had lots of people tell me, what are you doing with your hands? Why do your hands move so much? If you let those kind of comments get to you, it's going to get inside your head and you're not going to be able to perform as freely as you'd like to. So let your hands, take it from Gabriel, let your hands do what they will. As far as extending the musicality of your voice. He's so good at that. Love that.
Early in the morning, before the sun begins to shine. Ooh,
So much agility.
Towards the separating line. Yeah.
Now, I'm noticing a trend with Gabriel's singing. I thought maybe it was just part of how he was delivering Earth Song, but he is very good at bouncing in and out of his different registers. He can hit those higher notes that he just sang in his chest voice, but he is choosing to create interest and variety. It's not about being able to do something or not being able to do something. His head voice is not simply a mechanism for him to hit notes that he can't hit in his chest voice. There is this large range of choice of color palettes that he has available, and he's utilizing that in a creative way, not a necessity way. Listen for that as he continues.
I'm ready from the waters. You know I gotta make up mind. And I don't mind if I lose any blood on the way to salvation. And I'll fight if it's strength that I got until I die. So I gonna stand up.
That's hard to do. Navigate those sort of key in-song key changes like that.
And I'll fight if it's strength that I got until I die. So I gonna stand up, take my people with me. Together we are going to a brand new home. For I cross the river, you with freedom calling me to answer. Gonna keep on keeping on.
He's so engaged. Also, even within his chest voice, listen to how he moves his resonance forward and back, his placement forward and back in certain key phrases here. We're going to play a little bit of this again.
Calling me to answer, gonna keep on keeping on.
This is not just keep on keeping on. If I were to exaggerate what he's doing, keep on keeping on.
Gonna keep on keeping
on. He's actually a little bit more nasal on. Keep is more forward. Keep on keeping on. Keep on keeping on. It's not just about saying the vowels. It's about feeling the resonance of different vowels in different places of your face and vocal tract and body, and that increases your overall resonance and interest in your voice. I'm trying to help you, even if you don't sing, understand a little bit more about why Gabriel's voice is so pleasing to listen to. There's so much variety in his resonance. Keep on. If we got rid of the pitch altogether, keep on, as opposed to keep on. There's far more going on here than just hitting notes well.
Gonna keep on keeping on.
he trails that. Listen to this. So he ends in his chest voice, but there's a seamless transition there. I believe is in chest voice. That is so incredibly hard to do a run like that right around where your break is and have all those notes line up like that. Wow! Listen to that right here. This is another amazing resonant giveaway. He grounded in his chest voice. He's like doing a siren. This is like a vocal warm-up or something that you would pick up in vocal warm-ups and apply incredibly musically like he's doing here. Starting in his chest voice and then sirening up to that note. This is helping him with his pitch, with his agility. Cool stuff. Oh. The grit there. There's a lot more going on here than meets the ear upon first listen. Head voice. Mixed. Sky. Puts a little bit more weight behind that note. Of course, I'm exaggerating everything. Head voice. There's a connectedness and a raspiness to this area of his voice. And he's able to put the weight behind it like right there. But then listen here. He definitely grounds in chest voice. I think that's all whistle. He's just absolutely incredible making that trade-off between his primary chord chest voice usage and then catapulting up into that whistle register. Absolutely incredible. You notice in the production, whoever mixed this brings in more delay repeats when he holds out a note or when he goes to the whistle register or when he is ending a phrase. He doesn't just have one level of reverb and delay on his voice. That's being automated up and down to enhance certain phrasings in his voice. Yeah. Changing the vowel, changing the resonance around like I was talking about earlier. Right at the key change, too. Incredible. how he subtly backed off in breath pressure towards the very end there was super pro. He's compressing a little bit more right before that last section, meaning he's holding back air to the point of creating this river. He's not getting any louder. He's just inserting more breath pressure while holding back air as he's hitting some of those more gritty notes. That's what you're hearing. You're hearing him actually hold back air. Listen to how he does we, right? This isn't just pushing into we. Together we. Now I'm going to practice holding back air a little bit there. Now I realize I don't sound anything like Gabriel, and I'm not trying to, and I never will. But let's study this technique and see if we can't pull some things out of our voice. Together we. I'm going to hold back like I'm lifting something heavy. Together we. If I try to maintain pitch without tensing my throat, but merely increase push while thinking hold back air, that's not tensing like this. Lifting. Practice this idea of remaining relaxed here, or at least thinking about being relaxed here, as we insert more push and hold back air. This will keep us just from trying to push into certain notes, and it will give us that nice distorted flavor. He backs off his breath pressure here. Wow. Well, that was a tall order, but he definitely fulfilled it. Absolutely incredible. And what I love about Gabriel so far is that he is unapologetically putting his own stamp on these songs. Yeah, he's borrowing the soulful nature of the original, but he's not trying to sound anywhere remotely like the original singer. In either of the cases, he's going above and beyond in certain ways. He's showing strategic restraint in certain ways. And I think that's even cooler than just going above and beyond in every way, when technically he can. The fact that he shows restraint shows his character as a humble performer, even though he's technically and artistically incredible. That's a major attribute to possess as a fantastic performer, is humility and restraint in particular. Thanks for recommending this. More Gabriel coming to the channel soon. Again, if you'd like more help with your own voice, click that link below and join my free voice course. We'll see you for more. If you're looking to improve your range and agility, studying Sam Ryder is a wonderful place to land. He's growing these notes. You can see his face bending the tone. This is the tail end of his warm-up. Lift this as an exercise. This is a fantastic way to grow your range. You don't try to just go higher and higher and higher in your chest voice, nor do you cop out and permanently switch over to your head voice. If we can go back and forth, we create this sense of bounce and freedom in our voice. Step into the light and growing that note, foregone conclusion, lots of distortion. Are your lower abdominals tired? This is not only the first check. This one is absolutely essential. We need to make sure we're getting our energy from the right place. If you're not sure, if you've practiced distortion and you haven't gone through the process of understanding where the intensity should be, when you're regularly singing or when you're singing with lots of distortion or grit or screaming, not only are the other two checks not going to work, but your distortion techniques are absolutely not safe. So dial in the correct sensation of support clearly and efficiently so that you can do these other steps and be safe. Click the link below in the video description or the first comment. Check 2. Does your distortion feel subtractive in terms of volume? If I belt a note, hey, and then in order to add distortion, I have to get louder, hey, that's not sustainable. You're not doing it right. And you notice there's an uneasiness to it. I'm going so hard on my primary chords that even after I did that for just a little bit there, I feel a little bit of hoarseness setting in. We want to make things subtractive. In other words, we want to make sure that we are experiencing the sensation of holding back air even when we are creating heavy distortions. So if I hold that same note again, hey, highly belted, I actually don't want to think belt. Hey, I want to back off on air pressure initially, and then I want to constrict, upper constriction, as high in the throat as possible with that, as I've talked about in other videos, lifting something heavy sensation. This desk is heavy. Notice when I do that, I raise the pitch, but there's actually less air passing through my vocal tract there. It's compressing. I feel a greater intensity in my abdominal muscles, and I feel this sensation of cutting back air as high in my throat as possible. So if I belt that note and then back off a little bit, and then think lifting something heavy. Hey, 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 yeah, yeah. There's actually a easing into it. It's not just hey, hey. Now that's for a more mild distortion. If I want a really broken up distortion like you heard in the intro, I can do that same thing by backing off. I can release into it instead of bulldoze into it. Hey, 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 hey. That's brutal, but it's also slightly quieter than hey. So that's check 2. Is your distortion subtractive in volume? And check 3, and all of these things go together so hand in hand. And as you continue to feel out what you're doing and make observations about various places that you experience different sensations, all 3 of these checks are going to be easier to lean into and follow. Is your distortion additive in terms of sensation? Okay, so we want to be subtractive in terms of volume, but additive in terms of sensation. Let's go back to our belted note. Hey! And I'm just plowing into that, going harder and harder on my primary chords and hope that things break up. Not good. When I do that, as I increase in volume and intensity, my sensation center in my throat almost narrows. I sense it kind of closing in on itself in one particular area. When I am additive, when I'm thinking additively in sensation, I feel the connection with my vocal tract lengthen in a way. We're practicing that subtractive in volume, adding compression. I feel the sensation being laid over the top of my primary phonation. Clean. This has the byproduct of compressing air, but it also spreads out the way air is being trapped over a broader area of my tract. So if I feel out the points of engagement from the back of my soft palate, I'm kind of feeling out all the different ways that I can constrict air, upper constricted cartilages and tissues, all the way down to my false chords, which are right above my primary chords. Okay, that feels a little lower. It's still higher than my primary chords, but lower than, say, this sensation. So I want a broad engagement. I want to add engagement upwards and feel like things are spread out in my throat. Hey! yeah, as opposed to you can practically hear me. You can hear it in my voice, in my talking, after just a little bit of that. Let me get a drink, and then I don't have much of that left in me. But if I go the other direction and broaden the engagement, think about it broadening. Hey, yeah, that one felt really high. The beautiful people. Yeah. I'm still talking fine after a more brutal sound. For more on developing your distortion and screaming and all the different sounds, I've done plenty of videos on it. Be sure to check out the playlist I've linked to you here. And again, if you'd like help with specifically check 1, dialing in that support so that you can do all this other stuff correctly, click that link below and join my free course. We'll see you for more. Hey, Chris, I think you would love analyzing and listening to Show. This is all I know. First time reaction and vocal analysis. There is so much playfulness here. Vocal distortion happening. There's all these little chirps and squeaks and... Okay. Listen. Oh. Hey, Chris Liepe here. I promised this was coming. Addo. Goddish. I hear from the comments that it is one of her most vocally acrobatic songs ever. I can't wait. Oh my God. Okay, let's just talk about, even in the subtlety here, the two different characters happening. I've said this in other Addo videos. I like that I don't understand what's being said because I have to extract my own emotional connection just from what I hear of the vocal textures. And she has so many vocal textures that I start to feel different emotions as I listen to different vocal takes and different vocal parts. But listen to the breathy down here versus the sassiness that's up here and the contrast that's created in the performance and the arrangement, right? The da-da-da-da, those are doubled and panned out, and the sassiness is front and center in your face. Da, 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 da. That's a cool fifth harmony there. It's so subtle. See the difference? I mean, this is mild contrast compared to what I've heard from her in the past. It bears mentioning that she doesn't just use massive contrasts when she's really going for a note or something. She uses it even in subtle ways to perpetuate artful arrangements. By the way, this is a singing channel. I teach people how to pull all sorts of fun things out of their voices that they never knew were there by learning to experiment freely and non-judgmentally. If you would like to learn and explore your voice in the ways that I'm digging into Addo's voice, click the link below and join my free voice course. There's your sweet voice, right? She has this and then that sounds like Jewel. Like, very classically based versus completely different vocal posture, right? Nasal. Yeah. I love that it's connected. Like, this is, you can tell even with all the other arranging things, she transfers into this different vocal character as she ascends that line. It's one take there. When's the last time you tried something like that with your voice? Listen to those abandonments into those squeaks. I want to hear those again. Is there like a flip there, or is she masking that a little bit more? So those, she's not accentuating that sort of yodel thing there, but she's very definitively in a chest and then a head resonance on the most recent that I've listened to flips up there. Listen to the earlier ones though. There's some doubling going on, but there's this sort of sound, which happens to be very similar to a vocal exercise I do in one of my courses. But on the later ones, it's less like and more like One of them has this extension up without a break where you're being more brash. The other one is a deliberate flip up into head voice. There's that bride again! Can we just take a moment to acknowledge how many words she is rhythmically... This is borderline like spoken word rap. The melody isn't going all over the place here. There's a wonderful subdivision thing that's happening with her melodies here. And what I love about it is it's a very small portion of what's happening. There's so much variety surrounding it that it really pulls you in right here. All those different subdivisions happening from different voices, right? Oh, I think I stopped it at the wrong place. Hold on, let's go back. That was cool. Did you hear how that distortion evolved in her voice? Listen again. Clean. Then it went to, as I've talked about in some of the other videos I've done on Ado, a compressed chest voice. And you get there, you can get there, or at least start to get there, by practicing lifting something heavy. If you have a heavy desk or some weights, phonate, speak, and then practice lifting, and then just sort of accept the sort of heinous sounds that come out of your mouth. And then learn to place this kind of gurgly distortion as high in your throat as possible. Hey! You're essentially holding back air using a method that we all use when we are trying to lift something or when we are trying to prevent ourselves from drowning. It's the same vocal mechanism. But if we hone that sensation to be high in our throat, it becomes more pure sounding and less gurgly. But what she does, the art of what she does here is that she has it higher, like I'm describing, and then she drops it to be more gurgly right at the very end. She moves the sensation around in her throat, up and down, and it creates different timbres. Hear the difference? Hey! 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 That's a lower sound! This is a higher sound! And the sound follows the sensation as I'm directing how I engage my non-true vocal cord tissues in my throat. And I can direct it by moving my mouth a little bit, but mainly it's a mindset shift that goes up and down. And the mind follows the body, which follows the mind, which follows the body. This is how we can hone some of these sensations in our own voice. It's super amazing to hear her do it so quickly and seamlessly, though. What a ridiculous switch. What an amazing musical arrangement. Like, and you have this swagger that comes out of her voice. The amount of different, like, cartoonish characters that come out of her disposition is unparalleled as far as I'm concerned. She is voice acting here as much as more than she is singing. There's that compression! The best singers are musical actors with their voices. Expression comes way before notes, pitch, before melody, before the words even. Oh, listen to how this entrance here. You hear how her pitch dips just a little bit with the rest of the track? You can tell she's not ratcheted down with tuning, which is amazing and so wonderful to our ears. But she lets her voice both be lazy in tone and lazy in pitch for just a second there. There's that wacky contrast again, right? That was a cool slide. That was awesome. If I were to put it in an area of my voice that reflects the same area, it would be down here. I think it's important when we're actively listening or experimenting with our voices to make sure that we are not trying to operate in the same range of notes and instead operate in the same range of intensity. I can't hit the notes that she hits in the same way because our vocal anatomy is different. But I can match her intensity and I can try to dig into her character modulations and playfulness as long as I'm accepting of what my voice does as I experiment and don't continually throw it back to how it sounds compared to Ado. This is actually easier to do when you're doing, a male voice versus a female voice because there's no way I can do what she's doing. This trips people up a lot more when they're trying to work with a voice that they believe is somewhat similar to theirs, like male to male, female to female, or a vocalist that has similar timbre. That's when the comparison demons really start to attack. So I actually learn a lot more about my voice in some ways from extracting things from voices I will never sound anything like. Did you hear the nasality that she imposed right there? And then got back out of it? Listen. One of the main complaints I hear from vocal students is that they sound too nasal. You got to get that thinking out of your mind. Because when you start trying to not sound nasal, you cut off all sorts of resonant possibilities with your voice. Sound nasal! And then sound not nasal. And then sound really nasal. And then not nasal at all. Practice directing air through your nasopharynx, through your nasal cavities, and then cut it off. Do both. Don't say one is bad and the other is good. It's not true. And we hear, one of the reasons we love Ado's voice so much is because she's constantly playing with that nasality, among other things. Oh, listen to that articulation. A little mini squeak right before she belts it! Whew. Wow. Yep, I can certainly see why you all wanted me to review this song. I think more so than any song I've reviewed so far, this one has the greatest amount of character contrasts. I mean, there were vocal gymnastics in show, and I loved the sort of one-take, more raw mentality of Crime and Punishment. But the voice acting nature of what I was able to pull from this one is really, really inspiring. It's so fun to hear vocalists who are extremely technically proficient also be exploring all sorts of characters with their voice. And the reason that's so compelling is because oftentimes that character exploration leads to technical proficiency. In fact, more so. More cases are out there with very technically proficient singers being character voices first than they are technically proficient and then going the character route. It doesn't usually happen that way. It usually happens with free character-based vocalizations, and then the technical proficiency is discovered and then perceived by the listeners. If you'd like more help going deeper with your voice, again, click that link below and join my free course. Thank you for recommending this song. I thoroughly enjoyed it. We'll see you for more soon. I did War of Being by TesseracT a little bit ago. And when Legion came out, lots of you were asking, where is it? Why haven't you done it yet? Dan is here and gets to watch me experience Legion for the first time.
Thanks for having me, dude.
Hey, Chris Liepe here with the very first thing you should be doing, well, really every singer should be doing, when you start to warm up your voice.
And she tied you to her kitchen chair. She broke your throne and she cut your hair. And from your lips she drew the hallelujah. 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 Hallelujah.
Now, I'm going to lay a foundation for the very beginnings of every great vocal warm-up. But if you'd like to go deeper with how to feel out your voice, how to make sure your voice is warmed up for what you want to do, click the link below and join my free voice course. Every vocalist, whether you're screaming or singing, whether you're a bass or a soprano, should start out by getting in touch with your head voice in a very particular way. Now, some of you might be saying, I don't know where my head voice is. I've never been able to have success with my head voice. I can't find my head voice. I only sing in chest voice. It's time to take the steps to start developing your head voice. It's going to help you not only warm up better, it's going to help you treat your voice better. It's going to expand your range. It's going to help with expressiveness and dynamics. There are so many wonderful things about exploring and developing your head voice. And these initial warm-up exercises are actually going to help you get in touch with your head voice, maybe even find it if you've been struggling so far. So here's the first thing we want to do. We want to simply sigh. And I've used sighs for lots of other things. Sighs are amazing ways to develop and get in touch with your voice. There's no head voice there. So I'm going to intentionally raise the pitch. I'm not going for any notes. I'm going to raise the pitch of the sigh. Now, if you can't find that, start high enough to where you have a bit of rasp or a bit of just free air and try to work on feeling out a bit of a squeak. And then sigh, release down into your chest voice. So, if it even just sounds like this, or really cracky or broken up, that's okay. That's part of discovery. That's actually part of warming up. You may not have great chord closure with your head voice right away. Sigh, head voice to chest voice. Then we're going to go from our chest voice and we're going to intentionally break. And we're going to be very nasal with it. If you can feel out a break, you are accessing your head voice if you're going from chest to head. Sometimes it helps to be really nasal and sort of honk as you're pushing up. Why should we be doing this as the very first part of our warm-up? Because there are zero goals, because working with our head voice takes less air, takes less breath pressure, or should. And so it's a very non-abrasive way to use your vocal cords. It warms them up without the risk of introducing swelling right away, which so many people do when they start to just push and strive in their chest voice. Then, before you do any lip trills or straw exercises or anything else, put on some sort of calm track and muse in your head voice. Any notes are okay. Just focus on the quality of the sensation with your head voice as you're going over this track. going to work and continue to warm up your voice, top of head voice, whatever that top is, top of head voice down into your chest voice. So you're going to be doing all sorts of descending lines. So we're going to engage our chest voice, but we're going to start as high as comfortably possible. You're not straining, you're not pushing to get high. You're just finding a comfortable area and then working down. So this is like an extended sigh into your chest voice, really. Changing up the vowels. Vary your onsets and your vowels. Sometimes a h, soft onset, sometimes a hard onset. Go for perfect onsets. By varying my onsets, I am also working on finding good chord closure with my head voice first and then with my chest voice next. This is another thing that's going to help you feel out your head voice if you have trouble doing that sometimes. This is how I start my vocal warm-up every single day, every time I'm going to sing, for any length of time. If you'd like to see more about my complete vocal warm-up, check out this video. And again, if you'd like more help developing your voice as a whole, click that link below and join my free course. We'll see you for more. Healthy vocal distortion comes from properly placed and managed compression, holding back air while using proper support. But a lot of singers have trouble holding back air and placing that correctly as they go higher, particularly up into what they feel like is a mixed voice. We end up clamming up or seizing up when we try to go too high with this holding back or compressing air approach. Bear with me here. First, think super thin, high, and whiny. Just make the highest, whiniest, thinnest voice that you can. It might start really head voicey, but we're gonna be more whiny and brash with it. Up here, like this, just talk.
Are you gonna spread love or hate? Are you gonna spread love or hate? Are you gonna spread love?